Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Namakwa Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are glad you are here. My name is Milt Ginos, and I am your worship associate, along with Kathy Hartman. This is a come as you are congregation, and you are welcome here just as you are. I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors. We would love to stay connected, so please sign up for our communications at the main entrance. Here at Namakwa UU, we foster a beloved community that celebrates diversity, strives for peace and justice, acts mindfully for the good of the planet, and inspires spiritual growth through a free and loving search for truth and meaning. We honor the ground we walk upon and acknowledge this land as the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. We honor their history and their struggle and vow to build relationship. I have a few announcements. They don't seem so few, but here we go. Check the back of your order of service for things happening this week, including Senior Connect, Tuesday the 2nd from 2 p.m. on Zoom, Pathways to Presence, weekly mindfulness group on Wednesday, December 3rd at 9:30 a.m., UUs on Wednesday, December 3rd, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Volunteers are needed for a shift at Loveland Community Church, Friday, December 5th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Kitchen. Did I say church? Well, we'll also have it at the kitchen. Dances of Universal Peace on Saturday, December 6th at 6:30 p.m. Next Sunday, there's a special treat. Our former intern minister, Reverend Dr. Claire Hamour, along with worship associate Vicki Clark, will preside over a joyous service exploring the ways we take care of each other with our words, thank you and excuse me. With our words, thank you and excuse me are little words, which I mess up with. But they become something bigger when we realize that manners are, as Bell Hooks writes, love made visible. Coffee hour after the service today. Please join us in Parker Hall, just to the north of the sanctuary. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the restrooms are also, perhaps the most important part of our announcement. Thank you to everyone included in today's service, including last-minute additions. Katie, Pat, and Linda, thank you for stepping up.
Lots to be thankful for, including this is Milt's first time as a full-fledged worship associate doing a whole service. So thank you, Milt. As they say in the big churches, all will be forgiven.
Not so sure about that.
Some of you may have received a longer version of the true story of Thanksgiving from Rick Williams, who spoke here in March. I'm just going to give a little bit to get us started today. And this is from his writing. Feasts of gratitude and giving thanks have been a part of Indian culture for thousands of years. In Lakota culture, it's called Wapila. In Navajo, it's Hozoni. In Cherokee, it's Selu-i-Tizzi. In Ho-Chunk, it's Wikawas Waroku Sto Dvorak. Sure, that is all totally accurate. Each tribe, each Indian nation has its own form of Thanksgiving, but for Indian culture, Thanksgiving doesn't end when the dishes are put away. It's something that is celebrated all year long at the birth of a baby, a safe journey, a new home. In America today, we are facing many of the challenges faced by those pilgrims long ago. Perhaps we should reflect back to that day long ago when those helpless pilgrims sought support from the Indian nations living in the area. Giving is a way of life for Indian people, and philanthropy is now common in America, but does not exist in many foreign countries. American Indians helped our fellow Americans understand generosity when Native Americans had to give up this country. The very food that was shared on that day had been developed and in some cases genetically improved long before the Pilgrims came to America. That indigenous knowledge helped improve the world then and now. Where would we be without food staples such as corn, squash, beans, chilies, tomatoes, and the ubiquitous potato? Every day, our lives are enriched by the variety of foodstuff and many lives saved or made more comfortable by medicines such as aspirin and quinine. Back then, Native Americans knew and understood the need to live in harmony with the environment. It is common knowledge among Indian nations that we must treat our Mother Earth as a living, breathing, sacred being, and we must never take more than we give back while living in harmony with our world and each other. It's easy to forget about the earliest years of our country. Yes, there was conflict, but there were also mutually beneficial relationships that helped build the foundation of this country. Thanksgiving Day is one of those special times. Generosity is a way of sharing wealth, honors, and reducing hunger. Native communities also share famine, grief, tragedies, and disasters, giving their best possessions to the poorest and neediest, sharing wealth, and also sharing the burdens of life. Why don't we stand for this and hopefully cuddle up and get warm. And thank you, Bill, for coming early and turning on the heat.
Yes.
Let me come up with you.
Yeah, great.
This is a new song for us, so you might want to check your the hymnal for the tune.
Please join me in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its call. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Let's share in that spirit of love by greeting those around you. Get to know someone you might not know. Whew, good job, so far.
You got through it.
Hi, Pop.
It's like you just sit
Well, I know. David came just to be with you, you know.
I know.
You should tell him to come up and sit with you. I'm going to take your hat off.
No.
It's really distracting. I can't look at anything else.
Whoa.
All righty.
I know.
Have you talked Josie into doing the decade service?
Haven't yet, but she will.
Okay.
She'll make. She'll not make. Yeah, she'll be.
Okay. Now we need the. Oh, sure. Looks like we have some kiddos today, so Grandpa Milt's going to tell them a story, so come on up.
That's right, for just a second. Oh, no, that's not my voice. Soon it will be. Hey, guys, come on up. You can get closer. Yeah. Let's go back. Hi. All right. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Today's book is Give Thank You a Try. So let's begin. See that? Okay. Every morning, our family has breakfast together. It's nice. Daddy and Mommy always say, thank you for being Emma. Thank you for being Olivia. Thank you for being Jimmy. And we say, thank you for being Mommy and Daddy. See that? Thank you for miles and miles and miles of smiles and smiles and smiles. Thank you for the petting zoo. Woohoo! See the petting? See? Fell a lot of mud on his face. Okay. Thank you for blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Oh, and clouds shaped like horses, cows, and monkeys. Do you see the cow or the monkey in there? You see? Can you point? Well, that cloud says move. Okay, that's good. Thank you for tickles, tickles, tickles. You like tickles? Thank you for my teddy bear, who also says thank you. Thank you for the night light in the hall, and the one on the stairs, and the one in the bathroom. Thank you for tricky, terrible, totally tough tongue twisters. Can you say that? No, I don't know. I don't know if I can say it. Tricky, terrible, totally tough tongue twisters.
My sister has another hard word to say.
Your sister has hard words to say? Oh.
Yeah. And she said whenever people are copying her, she's just gonna say that after she's done with them copying her, and she just will say it.
Oh, that's tough to say.
Extra outdoses, that's what she said.
Okay. Thank you for hills and dales and humongous whales.
What the? That's huge.
Okay. Thank you for sweet puppy licks and cozy kitten cuddles. Nothing could be better.
I like cats.
Yeah, I do too. I like dogs too. Thank you for toasty, warm, comfy Betty Bye and my lovely to snuggle with me. Okay. Every night before we go to bed, Mommy and Daddy say, thank you for being Emma. Thank you for being Jimmy. And thank you for being Olivia. And we say, thank you for being Mommy and Daddy. Thank you and good night. That's it.
Let's sing these kiddos out. If you'll stand up and form an arch. Now let us sing. Of the love within, let us sing. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Our first a cappella performance. Not bad. Let us give thanks by Max Coots. Let us give thanks for a bounty of people, for children who are our second planting, and though they may grow like weeds and the wind too soon blows them away, may they forgive us our cultivation and fondly remember where their roots are. For generous friends with hearts as big as Hubbard's and smiles as bright as their blossoms. For feisty friends as tart as apples. For continuous friends who, like scallions and cucumbers, keep reminding us we had them. For crotchety friends as sour as rhubarb and as indestructible. For handsome friends who are as gorgeous as eggplants and as elegant as a row of corn, and the others as plain as potatoes and so good for you. For funny friends who are as silly as Brussels sprouts and as amusing as Jerusalem artichokes, and serious friends as complex as cauliflowers and as intricate as onions. For friends as unpretentious as cabbages, as subtle as summer squash, as persistent as parsley, as delightful as dill, as endless as zucchini, and who, like parsnips, can be counted on to see you through the long winter. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on fast as radishes. For loving friends who wind around us like tendrils and hold us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for those friends now gone, like gardens past, that have been harvested, but who fed us in their times that we might have life thereafter. For all these we give thanks. Let's light this chalice.
Light, in its most fundamental form, is the essence of life. As the sun nurtures our planet, so too does light illuminate our minds and spirit. Victor Hugo once said, "Light is the symbol of truth." And indeed, light reveals not only the physical world, but also the depths of our inner selves. Albert Einstein remarked, "Look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. Highlighting how light, both literal and metaphorical, is essential to understanding and enlightenment. In this way, light is more than just a physical phenomenon. It symbolizes hope, clarity, and gratitude. As we reflect on the importance of light in both our external world and our inner lives, we set the stage for a deeper appreciation of gratitude and the light it brings in our hearts. To quote Desmond Tutu, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. Gratitude and light share a profound and timeless connection. Just as light dispels darkness, gratitude has the remarkable ability to dissolve negativity and bring warmth and clarity into our lives. When we cultivate gratitude, we allow light into our hearts, illuminating not only our own perspectives, but also the world around us. In moments of darkness and challenge, gratitude acts as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the most difficult times, there is always light to be found. Moreover, just as light is essential for growth and renewal, gratitude nurtures our spirit, helping us to see the beauty in everyday moments. It transforms our perception, allowing us to focus on the positives and fostering a sense of contentment and joy. In this way, gratitude and light work hand in hand, guiding us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. As we journey through life, let us remember that both gratitude and light are not just fleeting moments, but enduring forces that empower us to find light in the darkest places and to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. In embracing gratitude, we not only light up our own lives, but also become beacons of hope and positivity for others. To quote Mahatma Gandhi, in the midst of darkness, light persists. On a personal note, try to get through this. This past year, has been one of the most challenging periods of my life. In the midst of these difficulties, the friendship, kindness, and generosity of spirit from so many in this congregation has been my beacon of light. I am profoundly grateful for the support and compassion that helped me navigate this dark time. Your example has truly inspired me, and I can only hope to be as supportive and caring a friend as you have been to me.
Thank you, Milt. So each week we come together to do the work not only of this congregation, but also to support other organizations in our community through our shared plate. And I guess we've started something new with QR codes. Are there QR codes on the back of the pews? Whew, that's for the young among us. And because I don't have the time to know what to do with those. And I think it's on the back of the order of service also. So during the months of November and December, we are sharing our plate with neighbor to neighbor. Or are we? Yes, neighbor to neighbor, good. Quoting from their website, from homelessness through home ownership, neighbor to neighbor provides sustainable housing, supportive services, and education to families and individuals. Neighbor to neighbor carries forward the tradition of lending a hand in time of need, helping thousands of neighbors achieve, preserve, and sustain their homes each year. Please give generously while we listen to some amazing music.
I thought you might enjoy the backstory about this piece we're going to play, which is called Goin' Home. It's by Dvorak, but it's part of his New World Symphony. And he wrote the New World Symphony, as you may know, when he was living and working in the United States. But what inspired this particular part of the symphony was he grew, he was very impressed with Negro spirituals and loved them. And this piece you will hear has that influence. So enjoy.
Thank you, Kate and Cherry. So each week we come together to share in our lives, to care for each other through all kinds of thick and thin. So if you have a brief personal joy or sorrow, I'll ask you to come up front, and with a microphone you can talk to. I'd also like to, this is November, the very last day, but November is the month that we honor our veterans, and I don't know that we actually have done this much this month. So we appreciate those who gave service, including Tom Clark and Dick Barton, who both have recently passed, and to all the others who've given part of their lives in service to our country. So anyone have something they'd like to share? Do we have an update on Tam, Kathy, by chance? Oh, good. Well, she'll give us one personally then. Okay. Anyone else like to say something?
We're quiet this morning. Is this on? Hi, I'm Donna. I was looking through paperwork. Oh my gosh. and came across the decade service because I spoke last January. And I'm happy to report that I actually did what I said I was going to do. So I took a whole certification course in artificial intelligence. You're like, why is she getting tearful? But I want to share with you all that it is completely valid to use the term augmented intelligence. Within the industry and the founders and the developers and all the people who are arguing about what this is going to be, augmented intelligence is perfectly kosher. So I recommend that we do it. Thank you.
Oh, I have a microphone. Just for those of you who are new, on the first Sunday in January, we do the Decades service, which is where we have one person from each decade of life speak to the question from a Mary Oliver poem, "Oh, what is it you will do with this one wild and precious life?" It is an amazing service because I think we're starting with maybe an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, and then who knows? Depends on a lot of things. And Leo was intimately involved with augmented intelligence in the really early days, so he's another resource around that. Anyone else have something? Summer?
Hi, everyone. I'm Summer. I shared last time I was here that I'm getting ready to move my mom, so that'll be about a week and a half from now. And I also said goodbye to my senior cat this past week on Wednesday, and my younger cat is really struggling, as am I. So send love to Finn and to me and Hemi. Thank you.
We hold you in our hearts and the long trip ahead, and hopefully good settling for your mother.
We had the pleasure of having our Thanksgiving celebration with our in-laws, and interestingly, they are of the Sikh faith. They're from a Punjab area of India. They have come to this country and become very successful people, many of them physicians. But the interesting thing is that so much of their faith is exactly how we approach the world as well. So it's really welcoming to spend time with them because they see the world as we do, which is really reassuring, I think.
For people of all faiths,
we hold you in our hearts.
I wanted to thank Tam, who planned a Friendsgiving feast in Parker Hall on Thanksgiving at 3 o'clock. We had 25 people there, and everyone chipped in, and Tam has not been well. She was in the hospital. I don't know whether she's going to speak or not. She's doing much better, and at home, she had half a gallon of fluid drained from her drugs, and half a gallon of fluid drained from her lungs, thank you. And she's at home recuperating, she's on the mend. And thank you all who made the Friendsgiving possible. It was a lovely celebration.
It was great to come together, and we hold Tam in our hearts and thank her for all she's done. Hopefully this isn't as a result of doing just a wee bit too much. So, anyone else? How about Zoom, Katie?
I don't know if you guys can hear me. So yes, Tam did write from her perspective. She says, "I'm so grateful for my husband, Alex. He saved my life again by taking me kicking and screaming to the ER while I was prepping for Friendsgiving. Fortunately, he won the battle and they pulled a half gallon of fluid from my lung. Now I can get started helping plan for Namakwa's 25th birthday." We love you, Tam.
Tam, what can I say? Yeah, we hold you in our hearts, and we know you have a big, big heart. So for all those joys and sorrows that we hold in our hearts and are too tender, for those who are displaced or going through war or homelessness or suffering, we think of them, and may we keep them all in our hearts until we meet again. Thank you.
Let's start by finding a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath through your nose. Hold it for a moment and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale fully. 1 last time. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale. Now allow your breathing to return to a natural rhythm. Picture a warm, gentle light surrounding you, filling you with a sense of calm and peace. As you continue to breathe, begin to visualize one person who's made a meaningful impact in your life. Imagine their presence and the positive influence they've had on you. Feel the gratitude you have for them. Now, let your mind gently expand to include others who have touched your life. It could be several people or just a few significant moments that stand out. With each breath, let feelings of gratitude and warmth fill your heart. Take a moment to simply sit in gratitude. Allow the feelings to wash over you. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the light and warmth of your gratitude. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Take one final deep breath, and when you feel ready, gently open your eyes.
I'm pretty sure that you all think about or observe Thanksgiving in some fashion. Having just passed the day and having a few conversations with those who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I pause to reflect on my own mixed feelings. It's not that I'm not thankful. I'm incredibly grateful for all the privilege I've been given. But the day itself gives me pause, and I have strong feelings. My deceased husband was born on November 25th, which often fell on Thanksgiving and is the 1-month countdown to Christmas. We often traveled to Albuquerque to celebrate with Dave's family. It was always a fun celebration with lots of good food. In New Mexico, traditional Thanksgiving dinner can include chili rellenos, enchiladas, chili casserole, along with salsa and guacamole. Unusual for my German genes, but very welcome. We also had birthday cake. As a vegetarian, Thanksgiving is always problematic. I try really hard not to love dark turkey meat, and I do often have a little snack. I do not recommend tofurkey. But the whole turkey thing gets out of control with memes showing people wearing a turkey carcass on their head or dead turkey cartoons of many sorts, just so disrespecting of a native species and a partner on this earth. It's not true that Benjamin Franklin proposed that turkey become our national symbol. What he did say was, the bald eagle is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. He is too lazy to fish for himself. And then the turkey is a much more respectable bird, and withal a true original native of America. He is, besides, though a little vain and silly, a bird of courage. And even though attributed to him, Franklin also never said lighthouses are more useful than churches. But I digress. A few years ago, my father-in-law passed away on Thanksgiving, so that family celebration is literally off the table now. But the biggest problem is the focus of one day reminding us all to be grateful and celebrated by overeating, followed by a day designated for conspicuous consumption. And the true origin of the day is lost to the ages. One day maybe we're sitting down with our Native American neighbors, and then for years to come we stole their land and worked to exterminate them. Lost to many were their traditions of living in gratitude daily and celebrating harvest for a multitude of days and over their entire lifetimes. Historians have documented a harvest celebration in the 11th century in Cahokia, 5 centuries before the Pilgrims arrived. That native city across the river from present-day St. Louis was the largest population center north of Mexico, with thousands of families living there. Cahokians and their neighbors came in late summer or early autumn to give deities thanks, smoke ritual tobacco, and eat special food. Not corn, which was their dietary staple, but symbolically significant animals such as white swans and white-tailed deer. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy, originally formed in New York State, began many gatherings with the Thanksgiving address, sometimes called Words That Come Before All Else. They offer thanks to the people, the waters, the plants, the animals, the winds, the sun, the moon, and the stars. It reminds the community that life is possible only because of all these forces continuing their duties. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes a daily recalibration, an acknowledgement of the world's collective labor. The Lakota phrase, Mitakuye Oyasin, meaning all my relations, reflects a belief that every action should honor the broader family of life. Whether harvesting corn, hunting buffalo, or gathering medicinal plants, ceremonies of thanks ensured that people remained responsible stewards, recognizing that abundance is never guaranteed. These practices help sustain their lands for centuries and highlight a form of environmental gratitude that we all might emulate. Gratitude was also a central thread of social relationships. Among tribes such as the Navajo, the concept of hozho describes a state of harmony, beauty, and balance. To live in hozho is to be aware of the gifts one receives from family, from the community, from the natural world, and to respond with generosity. Gift-giving, sharing food, and supporting those in need were not obligations, but expressions of thankfulness. Through these acts, gratitude strengthened social bonds, kept communities cohesive, especially during difficult times. Native American history also teaches us that gratitude can be a form of resilience. When colonialism brought oppression, forced removal, cultural suppression, many indigenous peoples continued to express gratitude as a way to maintain their identity and hope. The Cherokee, for example, held on to the green corn ceremony, a celebration of renewal and thankfulness for the harvest, even as they endured the trauma of displacement. In the face of hardship, gratitude became a quiet form of resistance, a way of asserting that cultural values and spiritual connections would survive. It affirmed that no matter the suffering imposed, the spirit of the people remained unbroken. Gratitude as resistance. That is inspiring. There's also a lesson about humility woven through. Gratitude in many Native cultures does not involve ownership or superiority. Instead, it centers on responsibility. The Blackfoot people, for instance, believed the buffalo were gifts from the Creator, and hunters performed rituals of thanks both before and after a hunt. This practice recognized not only the life taken, but the relationship sustained. Gratitude thus carried with it an ethical charge, a reminder that every gift comes with a duty to protect and honor it. In today's world where Speed, consumption, and individualism often dominate. These historical expressions of gratitude offer powerful wisdom. They remind us that gratitude is not passive. It shapes how we treat the earth, how we treat one another, and how we understand our place in the world. It calls us to slow down, to recognize the sources of our well-being, and to live in a way that repays the gifts we receive. We can also learn from the Native idea that gratitude is not limited to good fortune. Many indigenous teachings encourage giving thanks not only for what is pleasant, but for what is challenging. Difficult seasons remind us of our strength, our community, and our interdependence. This broader form of gratitude builds resilience and helps us navigate uncertain times with steadiness. I wish I had known this Namaqua community when Dave was going through illness and death. I know that many have treasured the relationships and community here as they go through life's passages and know that they don't have to do it alone. The Menominee Nation lived in the part of Wisconsin where I grew up and does not universally celebrate Thanksgiving in the traditional sense, but rather recognizes November as Native American Heritage Month. While Thanksgiving Day is often viewed critically, the Menominee, like many indigenous peoples, have their own rich, long-standing traditions of giving thanks for the harvest and the natural world, which are practiced throughout the year. Ultimately, gratitude in Native American history is a reminder of a truth modern society is relearning, that life is a shared endeavor, that gratitude is a daily activity. We depend on the elements, the land, the animals, and each other. And when we honor those relationships, we create a healthier, more balanced world. Gratitude, rooted in centuries of indigenous tradition, invites us to live with respect, humility, and awareness. It invites us to see not just what we have, but what we are responsible for, and invites us to remember, as many Native cultures have long taught, that the world is filled with gifts, gifts that sustain us, teach us, and call us to respond with a grateful heart. May it be so. So let's stand and sing together.
My father's song by Simon Ortiz. Wanting to say things, I miss my father tonight. His voice, the slight catch, the depth from his thin chest, the tremble of emotion in something he has just said to his son, his song. We planted corn one spring at Acoma. We planted several times, but this one particular time, I remember the soft, damp sand in my hand. My father had stopped at one point to show me an overturned furrow. The plowshare had unearthed the burrow nest of a mouse in the soft, moist sand. Very gently, he scooped tiny pink animals into the palm of his hand and told me to touch them. We took them to the edge of the field and put them in the shade of a sand-moist clod. I remember the very softness of cool and warm sand and tiny alive mice and my father saying things.
Let's get together for coffee and conversation. Thank you all for being here today.